And I'm Nancy, and we are here talking to Gayle Forman, author of Where She Went, which is the awesome sequel to If I Stay. And if you haven't picked these up, please do, because you'll need a box of tissue.
And you'll love her like I do.
And you'll definitely give it a 5-stack.
I will.
Okay, so Where She Went is the sequel to If I Stay. And did you always know that you wanted to write a sequel, or was this going to be?
No, ma'am.
I mean, because the ending was just so, perfect.
We can understand both ways, but we thought that was a standalone, and
it was
could
a
have been
standalone. It was a standalone book. I had no intention of writing a sequel. When I finished the book, I didn't even know if it was going to be a book. I didn't have a contract. It was just the book that it was. And sort of then I finished it, and I was revising it, and I turned it in, and then I had an idea for this other book that I was going to do, and that was that. And then all of a sudden, I started thinking about Adam and Mia. And even though, and there's a spoiler, because we can't talk about Where She Went without spoiling If I Stay.
Right.
So if you haven't read If I Stay, go away. Read it and then come back.
Right. Just pause.
Yeah, just
now.
pause now. Yeah. So I started thinking about, even though If I Stay ends on this sort of hopeful note, I knew that really I had left me and Adam in such a difficult place. Mm-hmm. They had a lot of hard years ahead of them. And as soon as I realized that and started thinking about that in a concrete way, I thought, well, what's going to happen to them? And then I started thinking about what's going to happen to them and how they were going to navigate those years and manage to do more than just sort of muddle by. And as soon as that happened, I immediately realized how the story was going to go and what was going to happen. And immediately it became clear to me it would be Adam who was going to have the difficult journey. And that if there was going to be a story to be told, it would have to take place several years later and from Adam's point of view.
I love his
I still
voice.
did not think I was going to do a sequel. I kind of, for my own relief, I just wrote a quick draft out, shoved it on my computer. I'm like, all right, that's there now. I feel better. I got back to this other book I was writing, wrote it, revised it, turned it in, and then pulled it. I'm just like, no, me and Adam would not shut up. They were just like, tell our story, finish our story. And so that's why I wrote Where She Went.
Story?
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. And was it hard, to switch from Mia's point of view to Adam's?
No, strangely, this is the first book I've written from a guy's point of view. I already knew Adam so well from If I Stay that it was very natural to start writing from his point of view. It was hard to write from Adam's point of view because even though I don't think I'm giving too much away to say nobody dies in Where She Went, Adam's in a very, very dark place for a good chunk of this book. And to be in that dark place was so much harder than to be in If I Stay, where I kill off Mia's family. So Mia has all this grief and this huge decision to make, but
The whole time we're rooting for her.
You're
then.
rooting for her, and
Yes.
she's surrounded by love.
Mhm.
She's in a headspace of love. Adam is not. He's confused
Oh,
and he's
that's
tormented.
sad.
He's anguished, and I was there. And then the weirdest part was being Adam. I was angry at Mia, and that was just like the weirdest thing. I love Mia. She's my girl.
I
She's
am
like,
angry at Mia.
yeah, you'll get through it. When you get further along in the book, I have a lot of readers who I've heard already saying I was so mad at Mia, but then I understood why she left Adam. But I had that same experience. It was very weird for me as an author to be angry at the character I created and love and feel for.
Oh, wow. Because, the whole time I was reading If I Stay, I'm like, Mia, I love Mia, and I wanted Mia, like you said, she's fierce, and she's got a passion, and she's got,
silent, strong.
Yeah, just so strong, such a strong character, and Adam's strong too. But in this novel, when you start out, he's just really
Sad.
He's dark. Mm-hmm. He's a lot darker.
See, the real Adam is there. It's underneath,
Yes.
and
Well,
From
that's
this
what
book
makes
to this
me-
book, yeah,
the
it's
same
totally
Adam. It's
different.
the same person,
Yes.
though.
No, but
as
he
you keep
is.
reading and the sort of the layers come off, you see that Adam under
Well,
there.
that's
But
why you
it's
feel
just-
so sad for him.
Yeah.
That's why I think maybe that might be why I cried on it. I don't know.
You cry at everything too, but I cried, and I'm not a crier,
Yeah.
and I cried. I cried at this book.
Yeah.
All right.
So
I think it's my turn.
go ahead. What do you-
We know you're a huge fan of Jandy Nelson, is that right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and she's the author of The Sky is Everywhere. With that
Which
said,
you should all read.
with that said, do you read a lot of fellow YA author books? And
I
if
do.
so, what do
I
you
like-
recommend?
I like to see what's out there, and so what do I recommend? I've just read a whole slew of things that are kind of against type for me because I tend to read a lot of contemporary, but I've just read a lot of things that are more sort of fantasy, paranormal, and love them. I am late coming to the Holly Black game, but
did you read?
I read White Cat, and I
White
have
Cat?
Red Glove with me, and White Cat was just unbelievable. I was so into it. And I read a book called Chime by Franny Billingsley,
I don't know that.
which just came out in March, and it's sort of historical fantasy, which is usually something that would make me go, yuck. But it's just, the writing is absolutely the most inventive, incredible writing. The story, it takes place 100 years ago, but it feels incredibly modern. It was delectable. It was just fantastic. So that's what
Stacey
I'm
and Nancy will run out and buy
Yeah,
that.
so those are
We
those
will.
are-
We're
those are-
fantasy
those are-
chicks that way.
Yeah, so those are two that I really recommend. I'm a big fan of Stephanie Perkins. And French Kiss was one of my favorites.
Yes, I just met her, and
Yeah.
she said she recognized me.
Um,
I was like, oh my goodness.
You're a
Yeah.
fan of them.
I'm looking forward to reading Blake Nelson's Recovery Road.
Okay.
That's on my must-read list right now. So I'm going to pick up a bunch of books this week.
Fun.
Wow. And you know, these stories are so emotional though, and they're very powerful. And did you have a hard time kind of separating yourself from the book? Like I assume you have kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, you're like, terrible things happening, terrible things. Hi, honey, how was school? You know, I mean, was it hard?
It's
kind of
weird because, like, on one hand, writing is such escape from, Mommy, wipe my butt. Mommy, I need water. Mommy, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, So, like, on one hand, it's like, I get to then go into this world of Mia and Adam dealing with these complex emotions and love and hatred and what happened to our love. So, like, that part I love. But when my sister read an early draft, or not so early draft, but a draft of Where She Went, her response to me was, I forgive you for being such a brat. Only she didn't use the word brat.
Oh,
She
well.
used a different word. She's like, you've been channeling Adam. And I think that was probably true. You know, that I was in sort of kind of a dark headspace because I was in this character's head. And I do think that my kids, you know, they have the benefit of having me be like basically stay-at-home mom. I mean, I send them off to school. I'm there to get them from the school bus. But sometimes mommy can be kind of preoccupied, and sometimes mommy can be channeling an angry 21-year-old.
Oh,
Alice doesn't drink a lot. Okay, so what are you currently working on? Is there any secret projects?
There is a
going
secret
on?
project, and it's only because I haven't even shown it to my editor yet.
Ooh, very secret.
But I had to like write a whole book and a half to sort of get to this book, and it's something. It's ambitious for me. It's something new and difficult, and it feels sort of hard, but sort of juicy and gratifying in the way that Where She Went felt hard and juicy and gratifying. So hopefully that's a good sign. There's not a guitar player or musician in sight.
So is it still contemporary?
Yeah, it's contemporary.
I've decided, I've just learned that I'm more of a contemporary reader.
Yeah.
I thought I was more like paranormal.
Paranormal.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Stacey's like, you're not.
I'll never
Just-
say never, but I think this is, what I do. I mean, some people classify if I stay as paranormal, so.
Oh, really? Well, I've
Really?
decided that. She just said, no, you're really contemporary. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
That's what I'll start telling people. So,
That's good. Okay, so do we
Right
want to
to-
give her some author tidbits?
yes, we could.
I don't have them. So, but
Okay, well, I
Well,
do
we can-
have some. Here, give me the ones from Lauren Oliver.
I don't have one.
What are author tidbits? Now you have me totally intrigued.
I don't know what you did with your.
It's okay. We'll cut this part out.
Yeah. We make them up.
Well, we know most of them. Come on.
What are author tidbits?
Okay.
Okay,
so
they're interesting
we-
author
it's a
tidbits.
round
So
here. Speed
here
round.
they are.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It's a
here they
speed
are.
round. Okay.
Okay, we're trying
Okay,
to change
start
it up a
over.
little bit.
3, 2, 1.
All right. So now we're gonna get to know some interesting author tidbits.
Is this like a speed round?
It
Oh,
is.
very exciting.
Yes.
And maybe, we'll ask you a couple that we're trying to add some new ones to it, so we'll see.
All right.
Okay, salty or sweet?
Oh, that's just my greatest dilemma. Both to combine.
That's
French
what
toast and
everyone
hash browns.
says.
French toast and hash browns. Why don't they come together in one special? I don't want
All
the
times.
eggs. I want the hash browns. Thank you.
This is why I love her. All right, cook at home, take out, or dinner out?
Cook at home.
Ooh, I like you more because I like to eat at home. Do you say pop, soda, or Coke?
Soda.
Thesaurus or dictionary?
Thesaurus.
Country, hip hop, rock, or classical?
Indie rock.
Ooh. This is going to really define you. Star Wars, Harry Potter, or Lord of the Rings?
Star Wars, totally.
Oh, you're.
She's getting a double fist on here.
You can tell we have boys, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay. Well, fiction or nonfiction?
Fiction.
Texting, emailing, or talking on the phone?
Talking on the phone and emailing. I don't know, easy, but texting, I know.
Oh.
And I can't work the thing.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you to do these, but truth or dare?
Truth.
Werewolf or vampire?
Vampire.
All right. Those are fun.
Those are fun.
Those are my favorite things. I just like
Team
it. Like you-
Edward, like clearly. so-
Like you really find out a lot about another person by the things that they say about that.
There you go.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, it was
Thank
so
you,
great to
Gayle.
see you
Yes.
guys. And you've been such big boosters, even before you read the book. You crazy girl.
You just love her.
Yeah.
All right, with that, we will see you in the stacks. Bye.
Bye.
That was awesome.